可能是之前中的毒还没好。
The story begins with the narrator explaining that the Jin dynasty had conquered the ancient Song dynasty. The Jin people were known to be arrogant and power-hungry. Eventually, they faced a strong resistance from the Mongolians, who were united by their leader, Khan. This unification led to a fierce war between the Jin and Mongol forces. During the battle, the Mongol soldiers, being skilled archers, appeared to have the advantage. After suffering heavy casualties, the Jin troops decided to retreat, with the Mongol soldiers in pursuit. They spotted a Mongol man named Guo Jing observing from a hilltop and shot arrows at him. For some reason, all the arrows missed. When the Mongol soldiers approached him, Guo Jing explained that he was looking for a girl named Huang Rong, from whom he had been separated during the war. At that moment, a trumpet sounded from the Jin troops, and the Mongol soldiers turned back to confront their enemy. To learn more about who Guo Jing was, the scene shifted to several years earlier. Guo Jing, accompanied by Huang Rong, was traveling to the Central Plains to train under the 7 freaks of Jiangnan. Huang Rong had lived her entire life on a remote location called Peach Blossom Island, protected by her father. She had left the island for Guo Jing's sake. On their journey, they came across many bodies of war victims.
你看，江湖就是很多帮。
什么香？下雨还能点着啊？
Guo Jing revealed his desire to master martial arts so that he could protect his people and his homeland, the Song dynasty. During their travels, Huang Rong also cooked a dish called Peach Blossom Wine Chicken, which she had prepared by catching a lightning strike. One day, Guo Jing met with his 7 masters from Jiangnan while Huang Rong waited outside. The Grandmaster forbade him from associating with Huang Rong, telling him he needed to focus on his training. He claimed that she was the daughter of the Eastern Heretic, a man known for being crazy and evil. Furthermore, he forbade Guo Jing from visiting Peach Blossom Island because it was famous for its deadly traps. After they left, Huang Rong mocked the Grandmasters, saying that Guo Jing's skills were still lacking. She suggested that he train under a more powerful master, one of the 5 greats known as the Northern Beggar, famous for his 18 dragon subduing palms martial art. Guo Jing took her advice, and they set off to find the master. While Guo Jing trained with the Northern Beggar, Huang Rong helped cook meals for the master in exchange. As Guo Jing's training progressed, his relationship with Huang Rong also deepened. He promised to take her to the beautiful grasslands and made her a windmill, telling her it would be a sign of his presence if they were ever separated. Guo Jing ignored his Grandmaster's warning and went with Huang Rong to Peach Blossom Island. Soon after, his 7 masters also went to Peach Blossom Island, where 5 of them were mysteriously killed. Devastated, Guo Jing believed that Huang Rong's father was the killer, even though she claimed he was not on the island at the time of the murders. Furious, Guo Jing left her. A while later, he met his Grandmaster, who confirmed that Huang Rong's father was indeed not on the island, meaning he was not the killer. Overcome with guilt, Guo Jing began a search for Huang Rong. This is where the story of the wind hero searching for his true love began. Meanwhile, Huang Rong was also searching for Guo Jing. One day, she was kidnapped by the most feared of the 5 greats, Ouyang Feng, who was accompanied by his 5 henchmen. Ouyang Feng had kidnapped her because he wanted to get his hands on the 9 Yin Manual, a text of great power that could cause destruction if it fell into the wrong hands. Only Huang Rong and Guo Jing knew its location. While tied up in a temple and surrounded by snakes, Huang Rong taunted Ouyang Feng by reminding him that Guo Jing had once defeated him. She also claimed that she had already memorized the entire manual. Annoyed, Ouyang Feng and his henchmen placed a deadly necklace around her neck, which contained a venomous snake that would bite her if the necklace was removed. Quick thinking, Huang Rong began to recite the manual, intending for Ouyang Feng's henchmen to overhear her. Ouyang Feng, however, immediately covered her mouth and chased his henchmen away from the rooftops where they were eavesdropping. While he was on the roof, Huang Rong took the opportunity to escape by jumping into a lake. Unable to swim, Ouyang Feng ordered his henchmen to catch her. On the other side, Guo Jing was regretting his decision to leave Huang Rong. While resting by a river, he overheard one of Ouyang Feng's henchmen talking to a group of Mongolians, revealing that he had poisoned the river. The henchman offered an antidote if the group followed his orders. At that moment, Guo Jing saw his sworn brother Tuolei among the group. Guo Jing immediately intervened to fight the henchman. Guo Jing gained the upper hand and demanded the antidote, but the man refused and threw a poisonous gas at him. Fortunately, Guo Jing, having mastered the 9 Yin arts, was able to control the gas with his dragon wind power and protect the Mongol group. The henchman slipped and his own hat sliced his neck, killing him. Meanwhile, Huang Rong ran into the city to escape Wu Yangfeng and his henchmen. At the same time, Jin Dynasty soldiers appeared to confront the henchmen for causing chaos. Wu Yangfeng retaliated by scolding and attacking the Jin soldiers.
丫头，在路。
Guojing spent the night chatting with Tuolei and another soldier, Master Jebei, who urged him to return to the Mongol camp. Having been away from his mother for a long time, Guojing followed their advice. The next day, as Huang Rong was traveling alone, she remembered a time when Guojing had carried her to a monk named Taisu for treatment when she was sick. The monk had also taught Guojing a healing technique from the Nine Yin manual and had asked them both to protect the knowledge. After reminiscing, she accidentally saw the windmill Guojing had made, and she was overjoyed, realizing that he was also looking for her. She also found an inscription on a rock that Guojing had made. She immediately followed the clues he had left for her. Elsewhere, Guojing and the Mongol group finally returned to the camp and were greeted by Guojing's adoptive father, Genghis Khan, and his mother, Li Ping. On the other hand, Wu Yangfeng and his henchmen found Huang Rong again, leading to another chase. Just as Wu Yangfeng was about to attack her, a group of female riders led by the Mongol princess, Huajun, appeared. They shot arrows at Wu Yangfeng, rescued a fallen Huang Rong, and took her to the Mongolian camp. Wu Yangfeng and his henchmen followed, but they couldn't easily enter the heavily guarded camp. They decided to poison the river instead. While Huajun treated Huang Rong's wounds and removed the necklace, her servant told her that the person she had been waiting for had finally arrived. Curious, Huang Rong asked who it was. Huajun said it was Guojing, and by chance they were soon to be married as they had been betrothed by Genghis Khan. Upon hearing this, Huang Rong immediately fainted. Meanwhile, Guojing's mother, Li Ping, gave her son a shawl belonging to his biological father. Guojing began a prayer for his late father, who had died in the war 20 years ago. However, Huajun interrupted his prayer, which angered him. After praying, they went off to talk about their marriage. Guojing quickly told her that he did not want to marry her and that he had met a girl he loved while he was training in martial arts. Huajun left him. Meanwhile, a heartbroken Huang Rong decided to leave, but she crossed paths with a furious Huajun. Huajun told her that Guojing was in love with another woman. Hearing this, Huang Rong was relieved, as she was certain that she was the woman he loved. Huajun then received a report that their river had been poisoned, which was certainly Wu Yangfeng's doing. Since he was still lurking in their territory, Huajun told Huang Rong to stay and gave her a face mask so that their enemies wouldn't recognize her. On the other side, Wu Yangfeng told his henchmen to infiltrate the Mongol camp and capture Huang Rong. He would not join them because he wanted to save his energy to learn the Nine Yin manual. Meanwhile, Tuolei and Guojing reported to Genghis Khan that there was a group of skilled poison experts with serious abilities. Genghis Khan was not worried though because he now had Guojing, a master of martial arts. That night, Genghis Khan gathered all the Mongol people to watch Guojing's performance and demonstrate his Nine Yin power. Both Huajun and Huang Rong watched, and Guojing's skills were so stunning that they made Huang Rong shed a few tears because she was finally able to see him.
可能是之前中的毒还没好。
A moment later, Genghis Khan received news that some of his soldiers had been killed, meaning Wu Yangfeng's group had successfully infiltrated the camp. So he ordered his soldiers to begin preparations and start training tomorrow. The next day, the Mongol soldiers gathered for war training. During the practice, Huang Rong told Huajun to ask Guojing to train using the war strategy manual from the Central Plains. A moment later, 100 people from the Beggars clan arrived and asked about their leader, who was Huang Rong. Because they had traveled so far, Guojing had no choice but to let them stay in the Mongol camp. Huang Rong then secretly met with her clan members, pretending not to know them. They made a plan to resist Wu Yangfeng. The clan members then asked Huang Rong why she was still hiding from Guojing. She explained that he was preparing to fight an enemy, and she did not want to bother him with her presence. The next day, Huajun met with Guojing to ask about the war strategy manual, also known as the Wumu scroll. This surprised Guojing, as only certain people knew about the scroll. Huajun became confused about how Huang Rong knew about it and suspected they had a serious relationship. Shortly after, Guojing and the Beggars clan met to learn the war strategies from the Wumu scroll. Huang Rong, who was hiding behind a tent, helped the Beggars clan. After the meeting, Huajun confronted Huang Rong, realizing that she was the girl Guojing had fallen in love with. Huajun challenged her to a duel, which Huang Rong accepted. The duel was evenly matched, but Huang Rong was finally able to defeat her with her beggar staff.
我让着，空手跟。
At the same time, Wu Yangfeng appeared to ambush her. Fortunately, she was able to escape, and Wu Yangfeng changed his target by taking Huajun hostage. But Huang Rong would not leave Huajun alone. She lured Wu Yangfeng by giving him a copy of the 9-yin manual written in Sanskrit. When he was more interested in the book, she immediately took Huajun and ran away. After that, Huang Rong revealed that she had rewritten the manual randomly to trick Wu Yangfeng. She also intended to leave the Mongol camp with her clan. Long story short, Guojing was often found daydreaming about Huang Rong. His mother suggested that he go find the girl he loved. As a result, he decided to go back to the Central Plains to look for Huang Rong and asked for permission from Genghis Khan. A few days later, the situation became more tense. The Jin troops was now launching an attack from the south, so Genghis Khan immediately held an emergency meeting with his royal advisors. During the discussion, Genghis Khan decided to counterattack by directly targeting the Jin capital. But to get there would take a lot of time, and the only way to shorten it was to go through Song territory. As a result, they intended to conquer Song territory first. On the other hand, Guojing was still on his way back to the Central Plains. While resting at a bar, he accidentally saw a group of soldiers heading to a certain area. After investigating, he found out that the Mongol soldiers was on their way to attack Song territory. Knowing this, Guojing immediately rushed back to Mongolia to stop the plan, as Song territory was his birthplace. When Guojing returned to the camp, Genghis Khan appointed him to lead the invasion. Of course, Guojing strongly refused, because even though he was raised in Mongolia, Song territory was still his homeland. Hearing this, Genghis Khan was furious and decided to sentence Guojing to death. At the same time, Tole intervened and persuaded Genghis Khan to reconsider, reminding him that Guojing was the royal adopted son and had saved many lives. As a result, Genghis Khan relented, and Guojing's fate would be decided after the war was over. As long as the war continued, Guojing and his mother were forbidden from escaping Mongol territory. After the decision, Guojing immediately ran to his mother, who was sick. The two planned to secretly flee. But as Guojing was packing, his mother chose to commit suicide by stabbing herself in the chest because she didn't want to be a burden to her son. Guojing, who saw his mother dying, tried to transfer his inner energy to her, but she stopped him, as she thought it was the right decision, and was very proud to have a son like him. As Guojing was crying, Huajun entered and intended to help him take his mother out of Mongolia. She then took them both in a horse-drawn carriage and finally managed to get them out of the Mongol camp. Once in a safe place, Huajun parted ways with them. Guojing buried his mother on top of a hill. Once finished, he continued to look for Huang Rong. He walked through the city. Upon arriving, he saw a store with a sign that said Peach Blossom Wine Chicken, a dish that Huang Rong often made for him. When he asked the store owner about the dish, the owner revealed that he did not serve it, but a girl had paid him to put up the sign. Guojing realized that it was a clue from Huang Rong. After that, he went to a hill in a heavy rain. There, he stuck a spear into the ground so Huang Rong could see it when lightning struck. After waiting, he finally saw another spear hit by lightning on the opposite hill and was sure that it was a clue from Huang Rong. He went to the opposite hill, where he was finally reunited with Huang Rong. The next day, on the day of the war, Huang Rong and Guojing went to the city. Because there were so many people there, the two of them lied to the guard, saying that they had never seen Mongolians before and wanted to see what they looked like. As a result, they were allowed to sit on top of the tower so they could watch the battle. Then, from a distance, Genghis Khan's soldiers was seen approaching the Song city border. But not long after, Wu Yangfeng suddenly appeared and claimed he wanted to kill Genghis Khan. The Mongol troops then launched an attack on Ouyang Feng. Ouyang Feng, who had now studied the 9-yin manual, also unleashed his power. But because the manual given by Huang Rong was scrambled, the energy he generated backfired, damaging Ouyang Feng's mind until he looked insane. Even so, Ouyang Feng was still strong enough to destroy the Mongol ranks with his brutal strength. Guojing, seeing this, did not stand still. He ran to the battlefield and told the Mongol soldiers to retreat. Then, when Ouyang Feng threw an attack toward Genghis Khan, Guo Jing managed to deflect it in time and throw the attack back, causing a huge explosion. Guo Jing then continued to attack Ouyang Feng non-stop until he jumped from above and unleashed an attack on him. But Ouyang Feng still got up and went after Guo Jing, knocking down a large wooden log that fell on him. As a result, Guo Jing could not move, but he gathered his energy and used his Dragon Quake power to push the log, along with Ouyang Feng. At the same time, Genghis Khan used his archery to shoot an arrow right into Ouyang Feng's chest. Even though Ouyang Feng was now seriously injured, he could still use his power to attack Guo Jing again. But Guo Jing managed to defeat him before Ouyang Feng decided to run away. After that incident, Huang Rong's soldiers used the chaos to attack the Mongol troops. But Huang Rong intervened by taking their commander hostage, preventing further bloodshed. Not only that, but Huang Rong and Guo Jing also stood in the middle of the two angry armies to stop the war. Seeing this, Genghis Khan came out of his ranks and asked Guo Jing why the Mongol soldiers should not attack Song. Guo Jing replied that war was not the right solution and that a true hero was not about conquering or being conquered, but about protecting people with compassion. He explained that if they only cared about conquering territory and seizing power, then the Mongols would also experience the same fate in the future, and he did not want their nation to be destroyed by the problem of seizing power. Hearing Guo Jing's speech, Genghis Khan was moved and ordered his troops to retreat. After they succeeded in stopping the battle, Tolei and Master Jiabei approached Guo Jing to say goodbye. In the end, Guo Jing and Huang Rong chose to settle in the Central Plains. So, what did you think of the movie? Leave it in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you in the next video.